There is an epidemic spreading across the world right now. It has no virus, no visible symptoms, no obvious cure, and it is killing people just as effectively as smoking 15 cigarettes every single day. It is loneliness. And in the next 6 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what it does to the human mind and body, and how to break free from it before it is too late. The science that should terrify you. In 2015, researcher Julianne Holt-Lunstad published a study that analyzed data from over 3 million people across 70 studies. Her finding was shocking. Loneliness increases the risk of premature death by 26%. Social isolation increases it by 29%. Living alone increases it by 32%. These numbers are comparable to obesity, comparable to alcohol abuse, comparable to smoking. But while society treats smoking as a public health crisis, loneliness is treated as a personal problem, something you simply need to fix yourself, something almost embarrassing to admit. This silence is costing lives. What loneliness actually does to your brain. When the human brain perceives social isolation, it enters a state of threat. Not metaphorically, literally. The same neural systems that process physical pain activate when a person feels socially rejected or isolated. Your brain treats loneliness as a survival emergency, because for most of human history, it was. Being separated from the group meant death. So your brain responds to loneliness with the same urgency it responds to a predator. This creates a cascade of effects. Cortisol, the stress hormone, floods the body. Sleep quality deteriorates. The immune system weakens. Inflammation increases. Cognitive function declines. And perhaps most devastating, the brain begins to change how it perceives other people. Research shows that chronically lonely people develop hypervigilance to social threat. They become more likely to interpret neutral expressions as hostile. More likely to withdraw from the social situations that could actually help them. Loneliness rewires the brain to make more loneliness feel inevitable. This is the cruelest part of the trap. The 3 psychological traps of loneliness. Trap number 1. The shame spiral. Modern culture glorifies independence, strength, self-sufficiency. Needing people has been reframed as weakness. So when loneliness hits, people do not reach out. They hide it. They perform happiness on social media. They tell themselves they are fine. And the gap between what they show the world and what they actually feel grows wider and more exhausting every day. The shame about being lonely makes the loneliness worse. And the worse it gets, the more shameful it feels to admit. The spiral tightens. Trap number 2. The digital substitution trap. Social media promises connection. It delivers the appearance of connection while often deepening the experience of isolation. Scrolling through other people's curated highlight reels does not nourish the human need for genuine intimacy. It simulates it just enough to reduce the urgency to seek real connection, while leaving the actual need completely unmet. People are more digitally connected than any generation in history, and lonelier than any generation in history. These 2 facts are not a coincidence. Trap number 3. The avoidance loop. When loneliness has been present for a long time, social situations begin to feel threatening rather than appealing. The brain that has been conditioned to expect rejection starts to avoid the very experiences that could break the cycle. Invitations get declined. Conversations get cut short. Vulnerability feels too dangerous. The person tells themselves they prefer to be alone, that people disappoint them, that connection is not worth the risk. But underneath that story, the need is still there, unchanged, unfilled, growing. Why connection is not just emotional, it is biological. Human beings are not designed to function alone. This is not poetry. This is biology. We have mirror neurons, brain cells that activate when we observe another person's experience, allowing us to feel what they feel. We have an oxytocin system, a neurochemical network that bonds us to others and regulates our stress responses. These systems require real human interaction to function. Eye contact, physical presence, genuine conversation, the kind of connection that cannot be replicated through a screen. When these systems are chronically starved, the entire nervous system becomes dysregulated. Emotions become harder to manage. Stress becomes harder to tolerate. The world begins to feel fundamentally unsafe. You are not built to do life alone, and trying to has a cost that compounds silently until it becomes impossible to ignore. How to break the cycle. Step 1. Name it without shame. Loneliness is not a character flaw, it is a signal. The same way hunger signals that your body needs food, loneliness signals that your nervous system needs connection. Treating it as information rather than weakness is where recovery begins. Step 2. Start smaller than you think you need to. The brain that has been in isolation does not need a dramatic social re-entry. It needs small, safe doses of connection. A brief conversation with a stranger, a text to someone you have not spoken to in a while. Showing up to one place where other people are, without any pressure to perform or connect deeply. Small, consistent exposure rewires the threat response faster than any single large social event. Step 3. Prioritize depth over quantity. One genuinely honest conversation does more for loneliness than 20 surface-level social interactions. The goal is not to be surrounded by people. The goal is to be known by at least one. Vulnerability is the price of real connection, and real connection is the only thing that actually fills the void. Step 4. Recognize that the timing will never feel right. The lonely brain will always generate reasons why now is not the right time to reach out, why that person is probably too busy, why it is better to wait. That voice is the trap talking. Reach out anyway. The discomfort of reaching out lasts minutes. The relief of real connection can last days. You are not broken for feeling this. You are human, wired for connection in a world that increasingly makes real connection harder to find. But the path back is always available. It is smaller than you think, and closer than it feels. Subscribe to MindVault. Share this with someone who might need to hear it today. Because sometimes the most powerful thing we can do for another person is let them know they are not alone in feeling alone.